Hello and welcome back to the Offensive Line. My name is Hanson, your host, and today we have a very special episode with my friend Mia.
Hello.
If you didn't know, 1 year ago today, Mia actually filmed an episode of In the Locker Room, where she shared a little bit about herself, about her testimony, and her desire, her love for apologetics, and just how she came to Christ. So, Mia, it's been a long year. So, how has it been?
Well, first, hello everyone. Hello again. Hi, Hanson.
Hi, Mia.
Super glad to be here. Actually, fun fact, TOL was the first ministry I got plugged into when I first got plugged into Redeemer.
Special place in your heart.
Oh yes, certainly. Yeah. I remember you reached out to me to write the captions for the posts on social media. And then slowly from there, I started working with Josephine, who recently filmed
Shout out to Josephine.
Yes. Link down below. She answered the question, what do you think about Christianity? Yes. Okay. Yeah, so I started working more with her, with the graphics and learning about negative space for the thumbnails.
Wow.
Slowly, as I worked on the graphics and thumbnails, I eventually transitioned out of TOL.
Yes, so we are sad to see Mia go, but she's back now for this video where we will be talking about the question, what is the point of life? And this is such an important question because, you know, it's just I feel like it's an existential question that everybody struggles with, right? And it's a good question to use in our evangelism conversation. So what are your thoughts on this question?
Yeah, this question, I normally use this often with classmates or family and friends who are all unbelievers. It gives me an insight of what they're thinking and how they prioritize, or like what they prioritize in their life. So when I ask them, what do you think the point of life is, or what's the purpose, they talk about career, having a family, or in terms of career, like trying to achieve the highest amount of income so they can have a comfortable life.
Money. Something very important.
Money, being able to travel, and then that allows me to dive into presenting like, okay, you know, we're in school for all these years, we work so hard to get a career, and then maybe we get married, have a family, and then retire, and like, so is that it? And then that makes them start thinking, and you see the wheels turning in their head.
Yeah, I think this is a question we've done similar questions before, where I think Victor talked about what motivates you, what gives us motivation in this life. Very similar, but I think what we see with a lot of the thinking that people have, specifically with like talking about the purpose of life and about the origin of life, even with like evolution, that really if you take it to the logical end, evolution to its logical end, the point of life, the purpose of life is nothing.
Yeah, nothing, or man.
Yeah.
This goes back to themselves.
Yeah.
Like humanism.
Yeah. So with this question, and as Christians and Bible-believing Christians, we believe to be the purpose of life, the point of life is that we are here created by God to glorify Him. So, and that should influence every single thing that we do in this life. Why would you use this question as opposed to any other question you might use in evangelism?
One of the main reasons why I love using this question is because last year, so within the time frame when I filmed for In the Locker Room till now, I actually went on a Utah missions trip.
Oh yes,
with our church. So last summer I was evangelizing at BYU's camp. I think it's BYU.
Yeah.
There might be another one.
There are two that we usually do: BYU, Brigham Young University, as well as Utah Valley University.
There you go. It's UVU. Yeah, Utah Valley University. I was like, Keon, and who also?
Yes, and Keon is actually behind the camera right now. You'll not be able to see him, but you can also check out a video that he did.
And we were evangelizing to this one guy who was about to propose to his girlfriend, and he was finishing up school, I think it was, and everything just seemed so set, and life just seemed like everything was falling into line for him. And so Keon asked a similar question to this, and he talked about like career, wanting to be a good dad one day, and all that. And Keon, like the way I was listening to how he was evangelizing and just like trying to be tactful with it, to leap off of his point of what he thinks the purpose of life is, Keon was like, oh, you know, these are all good things and good aspirations and desires. but it's not the point of life. Like, for example, and so with this question, I use this example. I just wanted to provide the context first as to where I got this example
Sure.
from.
Thank you for that background information. Yeah.
Okay, so he uses a water bottle. He's like, okay, you see this water bottle, right? So I use that too when I'm talking to someone about this question.
Do you bring an actual water bottle?
No, I mean, I always have a water bottle with me anyway. But if I don't, I just use it as an example.
Okay.
So I asked them, like, what's the point or what's the function and purpose of this water bottle? And of course, it's to hold water so we can drink it.
Yeah.
It's no brainer.
Yeah,
They say that. And then I say, this water bottle, I could use it as a weapon, right? Or I could use it as a toy to just like toss around, but it wouldn't be fulfilling its function, which is to hold water so we could drink it.
That's pretty good.
No, it is good. I know, that's why I use it. And then it gets them thinking even more. So then I tie that to, you could desire to go to school and have a family and have a lot of money and all that. Like, okay, cool. But that doesn't accomplish or achieve the purpose of our life, which is to glorify God. And we're getting that from 1 Corinthians 10:31.
Yes, great verse. No, thanks, Mia, for sharing all of that. And I think it helps us, the viewers, as well as myself, kind of understand, there are a lot of questions that we can use in evangelism, but what is the point of each one? What does each one do? What does it bring out? What new topics, conversation topics are open, right? Because it's all about having a conversation. Great evangelists ask great questions is the theme or the topic of this season. And just to kind of reiterate, the idea for this comes with being normal in evangelism and having conversations. And that was actually something that we talked about at your very first all-church retreat, if you remember.
Oh, yes!
Yeah.
Yes, Hansen has had an amazing, impactful influence on my evangelism. So last year we had all-church retreat where the entire church goes up to a mountain. And the theme was on persecution, finding fire. And after our session, I asked you about evangelism and witnessing and what it's like, or I don't know exactly how it started, but I remember you telling me, when you talk about God or you go about your life, it's not a flip of a switch where, it's school Mia, gym Mia, whatever Mia, or like church Mia.
You just be who you are, be normal. Be excited about the things you are excited about, as you normally would be if you're excited about, a sports or anything like that, and you talk about it. You share that with the people that you work with, that you go to school with, and you're excited about church. You're excited about what you're learning. You're excited about God, right? And just share that. It doesn't have to be, like you said, a flip of the switch where it's like you're like this one time, or like you're like this throughout life, and then suddenly you see someone and you want to evangelize to them, and then you're just like, okay, I got to turn on my EV mode. How has your evangelism been?
Evangelism is always popping off because God is so faithful.
What does that mean?
Okay, I was like, because God is always so faithful to answer my prayers. When I wake up in the morning, I ask Him to use me the way He wants to use me. And when I go to school, that's a mission field. I'm not always able to go on missions trip, but when I do go to school every day. It's a mission field. So I keep my eyes peeled when I see people around. Like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen this person in so long. I'm gonna go after or I'm gonna go up and talk with them. So that ties in with how Evie has been, because one of my friends from this year, I've been evangelizing to her and helping her understand this exact question. Like the answer to this question.
Oh wow.
1 Corinthians 10.
So it ties in, yeah.
It perfectly ties in. Yeah, and for her, it's just hard for her to understand and grasp that the whole point of our life is it should be centered around God.
Yeah. He's the one who gave us life, right? So He's the one who defines our purpose.
He defines our purpose, exactly. We talked about that at women's conference this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was really good. Nice. And 1 Corinthians 10:31 was mentioned in that message.
Yeah. So. I know, I was there. As a helper, not as a attendee, don't worry.
Yeah, so just specifically with her, you be praying for her heart to be softened, and she's super receptive, is aware that she's an unbeliever, and she just wants to keep on learning and learning. But there's something that's holding her back, which is this exact the answer to this question.
Yeah.
When it comes to surrendering your life to Christ and living your life for Him and not for yourself, because we're so used to, we're not. Okay, we as in I would say the majority of the world is not raised to learn or to understand that our life is about God. It's about what makes you happy. Which Sabrina talked about.
Yeah, all these questions tied together somehow. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
What makes you happy, or pursue the career that will make you the most fulfilled, or it's just all about ourselves. We're wired to just think about ourselves. So it's a lot of unlearning when it comes to sharing about life is actually about God. That's reality.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for sharing. Yeah, I think again, it was so fun to have you on this episode of Offensive Line. I think just learning a bit more about you, and the audience, of course, learning about you as well. And as we continue in these episodes on this season, as we're talking about these questions that you can use in evangelism, hopefully you guys are learning a lot. Getting some wisdom from some of our our guests on the channel as we're talking about these evangelism questions. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. You can give us a like if you like this video, if you like what Mia and I had to say. Please comment down below. Yes, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, you can subscribe as well to this channel if you want to follow us for some more videos like this. With that being said, we are the Offensive Line, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.